Welcome back, everybody. Russ Barkley here for a short commentary for parents raising ADHD children and teens. This one is going to be about the need for such parents to become more proactive and less reactive if they want to head off problems that they're having with their child or adolescent's behavior. We often see parents of ADHD children, or even typical parents, go about their day not planning ahead for any problems or rough spots in the day with the child's schedule or behavior. And then when a problem comes up, the parents are forced to react quickly and sort of cobble together some response to try to deal with the child's problematic behavior. I'm sure you've seen this in grocery stores and shopping malls and so on, where a child starts to act up at the checkout register because maybe they want some candy from the display, and now the parent is caught off guard as to how do I deal with this in the middle of this checkout process with people behind me and a clerk in front of me, and everybody's waiting and impatient, and my child is having a temper tantrum. So let's talk about this need to be proactive in order to help your child better anticipate problem situations and help you anticipate them and deal with them. And I assure you that if you will incorporate some of this, if not throughout most of your day, at least some of the day anyway, then you'll find these recommendations may help to reduce your problematic behavior with your child or teen by as much as 30 to 50%. Not a bad improvement. So, how do we help youth become more proactive, and how do we help their parents anticipate and prepare for problem situations? Uh, First of all, keep in mind that ADHD children have a lot less hindsight and foresight, and they're not anticipating events that are coming up. So, our job in helping a child with this neurodevelopmental disorder is to anticipate for them and help them get ready for these events. It's not to admonish them to think ahead and plan. No amount of admonishment is going to get rid of this neurogenetic disorder. But it's to become less reactive ourselves and more anticipatory of what problems lie ahead. So I encourage parents to sit down with a sheet of paper and make a list of the usual problematic situations you run into with your child. I mean, these are often recurring problem situations, such as stores, restaurants, behavior in church, when you're out visiting others, when you have others visiting your home. Maybe it occurs during playgroups, maybe during homework. So there are lots of times and situations where problems tend to occur, and you know those situations. So if that's the case, then just before we enter into those situations, there are a few things we could do. Just take a minute or so and review these with the child that would head off these possible problems once we enter into that activity or situation. So I call this transition planning. Friends of mine call it think aloud, think ahead. Whatever you call it, it's a great strategy for helping you to prepare for problematic situations before they become problematic. So let's look at the steps of transition planning. In this case, I'm going to use the store or the shopping mall as an example, but you could use this in any of these situations before you go to a friend's house, before you go to church, before you enter a restaurant, before a company comes to your home. You could do this just about any time of day. So let's have a look. Number one, stop. Don't enter that situation or don't begin that activity just yet. And then, number two, review with your child or teen several rules you expect them to follow in this situation. In the case of a store, it's stand close, don't touch, don't beg. Or if you wish to elaborate it for older children, stay next to me, do as I say, don't ask for anything. Have your child repeat the rules back. Better yet, have those rules on a 3x5 file card that you can take out of your pocket, your wallet, your purse, and hand it to the child so that they can carry the card with them, keeping the rules physically in front of them as they go. So there's no excuse for them not to follow these rules. They know them. Here they are in front of them. They've repeated them. Next, explain the reward. What's the incentive here? This is like an employment contract. I need you to come and work with me here, and I will offer you this in exchange. It's not a bribe. A bribe is something you offer someone for something illegal, immoral, or unethical. That's not what we're doing here. This is very much like an employment contract with your employer. So, what are you offering up in this situation that your child can earn? Is it going to be a privilege? Is it going to be a snack? Is it going to be candy? Is it going to be money? Is it going to be points within their point system? What are you offering to sweeten the deal? And then have them repeat that back to you. This is what I can earn if I behave myself in this situation. Next, explain what the punishment is going to be. What are you going to take away? What are you going to impose as a negative consequence? Have the child repeat that back to you. Maybe you're going to take away the privilege. Maybe you're going to remove points or take away money. Maybe you're going to restrict an activity later that day that they're not going to be able to do. Maybe you're going to impose a timeout, either in the store or outside the store. But explain what your plan is so your child knows upfront the rules, the incentives, and the punishment. Then, as you enter the situation, give them something to do. Busy hands are happy hands here. So, can you have them help you during the shopping trip? Push the grocery shopping cart. Can they carry your list and check off grocery items as you get them? Those are just examples, but give them something to do. If you have nothing for them to do, you should have brought a toy with you that they can play with during the trip to occupy their time, their hands, and their attention. Now, enter the situation, start the activity, follow your plan. Don't deviate from that unless you absolutely have to. You should be giving frequent feedback throughout this encounter, as well as if you're using rewards, you can be dispensing them during the activity, not just at the end of the activity. So giving points away, for instance, or small snacks away periodically during the trip to encourage and reward ongoing good behavior. And then finally, at the end of the activity, evaluate how well it went. Now, one thing not to forget here about the punishment. What makes punishment work is how swiftly it's instituted, not how severe it is. Swift justice. So if your child begins to misbehave, act quickly with whatever it is you said you were going to use. Maybe it's a timeout, maybe it's removal of a point, but don't get into an argument, simply act on what you said you were going to do. So hopefully this will help you with your transition planning. It will help you and your child anticipate problem situations. And I hope that you find what many of the families I've worked with over my career have found, that this can markedly reduce problem behavior in situations throughout the day. So good luck with it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And please join me again for another video on this channel. Again, if you like this channel, please recommend us to others. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you might think about doing so. Thanks, everybody, and be well.